What is an adult problem you were not prepared for? How many adults I actually dislike. When I was younger, I thought my parents liked all our neighbors, all my teachers, all my coaches, etc. I've since found out that they thought most people were morons, kind of like I do. This right here. I'm amazed how lonely being an adult actually can be. After cutting out all the toxic people from my earlier years of life, I'm very lonely now. Losing people. Loved ones passing away is the hardest. Then there's the nasty breakdown of personal relationships, family relationships and friendships. Then there's the sad drifting apart that happens when life takes you on a different path to a person you were once really close to. Realizing that not even your parents have all the answers, and finally understanding that they were just figuring it out as they went, just like we are. Not having an all-knowing figure to give you the answers to all your problems is the pits, and I hate it. Said it. Just wanted to add that I agree, figuring stuff out for yourself is rewarding and fun, but some things you really don't want to figure out for yourself or can't figure out, and for those things it's nice to have someone to point you in the right direction. Being able to not cook the same meal every day while balancing hundreds of other tasks. I will always admire my mom for how she was able to cook, have a clean house, work 43 hours, and help her children do homework, all while taking time to work out at the end of every day. I could mention other common problems like money management and common tasks that I haven't mastered, but what really hit me like a train was the actual transition of adulthood. Him talking about having to make my own appointments and having to keep tabs on myself instead of handing every single document to my mom. I realized how unorganized I was when I found my birth certificate in the same drawer where I have junk receipts. Pain. Arthritis is fucking horrible, and early onset autoimmune arthritis is worse than just having an ache in one or two joints. I hurt all the time, everywhere, and everyone just assumes you're faking it or you're a pill popper. I'm not going to live another 20 years with this pain like my dad did. Not being able to sleep due to stress, yet here I lay, exhausted but wide awake. When I was younger I could sleep anytime, anywhere. Going from having tons of friends to really having no one. Having a presentable place and debating myself on why it matters. It always frustrated me when my parents had a guest over and we had to deep clean the whole house. Like, if it's my close friend of 8 years visiting, why do I care what they care about my cleanliness? And yet, every time people are over I find myself cleaning the apartment up for some reason. Dealing with your parents acting like children. How expensive living is. I worked all through high school, but my only bill was the gas I put in. My 30 hours a week on minimum wage goes a long way on shopping sprees and nail salons when you don't have any other expenses. I developed nasty spending habits, not the value of a hard-earned dollar my parents were hoping for. I'm not in crippling debt or anything, but sometimes having to spend money on groceries or utilities depresses me more than it rationally should. When I was young, death seemed very romantic. The idea of everyone being so sad about you being gone and regretting every wrong against you. Now I have way too many responsibilities to die. I have seen how loss really affects the people I love and would never want to subject them to that. I'm 40. That feeling is real, and you should listen to it. Do it now. You might not get the chance later. My great-grandmother said that she and my great-grandfather promised they would always take a cruise around the world after they retired. It never happened because life got in the way, but they could have done it when they were younger. Don't ruin yourself financially, but if you can do that crazy thing you always wanted to do, go do it. Make it happen. The lack of time for myself. Life is all work, housework, yard work, childcare, bills, emails, phone calls. What's funny is that I have so much more free time now as an adult, single with no kids, that I know of, and it still doesn't feel like enough. No homework, no silly adult projects renovating bathrooms, etc. No extracurriculars that take up a load of time, and yet every night once I'm done eating dinner it's like, damn it, I have to go to bed in a few hours. How often you have to clean to maintain a clean house? Not only clean, maintenance in general. I just found spot of mold in my garage and have to pull out what feels like half a wall. The lack of time for myself. Life is all work, housework, yard work, childcare, bills, emails, phone calls. What's funny is that I have so much more free time now as an adult, single with no kids, that I know of, and it still doesn't feel like enough. No homework, no silly adult projects renovating bathrooms, etc. No extracurriculars that take up a load of time, and yet every night once I'm done eating dinner it's like damn it I have to go to bed in a few hours. Back hurting just from sleeping wrong, and from sitting wrong, and from doing housework and yard work, and from picking up dogs or kids, or whatever life requires. Never reach for anything in the back seat, especially if it is just a little bit further. Falling in love at an older age, but watching life speed by so fast. Wished I'd met her 30 years ago. All the choices you made led you to that love though. You could say the same about my hernia. So love does come in all shapes and sizes then. Adults never actually growing up. Yeah this. I used to look at 30-year-olds and be like they got it figured out. Now I'm 30, I feel as useless as I did when I was 17. A lot of the time I feel more useless than at 17. Because at 17, I had ambition and aspirations. Now I feel burnt out at 30, so the aspirations that egged me onwards are gone. At 17 I was making new friends, was practicing music to get my punk rock band somewhere, was passionate about science and physics and everything space related, was keen on getting into a theoretical physics degree. Now at 30 I'm totally burned out. I have no friends and neither do I know how to make any friends. I live day to day with no passion or ambition. I'm just slowly waiting for time to tick past, and I'm just doing my time here. Every day that I get through without any major incident is a good day for me. I lost my wife of 35 years. There is no way to prepare, and really no way to describe that loss. Sorry for your loss. I lost my 25-year-old brother who left behind his 6-year daughter. Life isn't the same when you lose someone you love. I know it's not the same, but I feel yeah. In my mind my mama should be about 40. She has always seemed to be so strong, but sometimes I want to fall apart when I see her take several attempts to stand up or make excuses about driving on the interstate. She will be 70 soon, but to me, she is still young. I don't know what I'll ever do without her. I lost my mom 8 weeks ago. It's hard living without a parent. She was only 60, but I always thought of her as 42. She died before I had the chance to talk with her one last time. It was very unexpected. Give your mama a hug and tell her you'll drive her down the interstate to get her where she needs to go. The increasing speed of passing years. Having nieces only makes the problem worse. Their age and the perceived number of years past doesn't align at all for me. That's actually something your brain does. As you get older your perception of time quickens. In some sense, time literally starts to go faster as you age. Remember how long things took when you were a kid? Edit. Okay, I get it now, rip my inbox.